Hello and welcome to day 400 and something of these Facecasts. Can't remember which one it is now, get a bit lost, never mind. We are in the New Testament letter of Peter, or the second letter of Peter to the churches. And he goes a long way to explain some things. And we looked at it recently when Peter is explaining about how the end of the world will come about, or the fact that it will, and that there will be a new heaven and a new earth, a new way of seeing things and doing things, which we don't fully understand, but we'll see in the fullness of time. And then he says he says all these different things to them about how things will be, which we looked at before. And then he says this in 2 Peter 3:13. He says, but it begins with a but. Therefore, it's like a therefore, isn't it? But in keeping with his promise, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth, the home of righteousness. But in spite of what he's been saying, perhaps because of what he's been saying about all that desolation that will come, but in keeping with his promise, whose promise? In the promise of Jesus to us. He promises us a new heaven and a new earth. What does that mean? We can only think in terms of a planet spinning in space with people living on it. And that's what earth is to us. But that isn't necessarily what earth is in the great cosmological view, spiritual view, theological view of things. We are, another way of looking at it is that we are a place, this earth is a place that his people, the people of God, can call home for the time being. We're only here for a little while, aren't we? 70 years. We've been around for I don't know, less than 1 million years probably on earth. Somebody with understanding of those things, anthropology probably, will be able to tell you how long we've been here, a few thousand years, which is but the blink of an eye in the length of time that the earth has been around and the planets have been swirling. We've been around for a little while in this form. But there'll be a new heaven and a new earth. That means something very different to what we have now. We don't know quite what it will be, but we look forward to it with expectation. What it will be, it says here, the new heaven and a new earth, the home of righteousness. Righteousness is being in a right place, in a right position, with a right attitude, thinking and doing and saying the right things. Who decides what's right and wrong? The Word of God does. That's our law book, this great big tome of 66 books is to us the Word of God and the law of life. By reading it, understanding it and applying it, we know how to live our lives. We know what is right and what is wrong. And we seek to be right. We seek to be righteous. And we seek to live lives of righteousness, being right in the sight of God. It says again, but in keeping with his promise, the promise of Jesus to all of us, we are looking forward to, it isn't here yet, but it is coming, we are looking forward to a new heaven and a new earth, a new order of things which will be different to as they are now. And these things, this place, this time, will be the home of righteousness, of living good, right, correct lives. We've got that to look forward to. In the meantime, we do our very best with our limitations, our earthly human limitations, to live as good a life as we can, also following righteousness. It's going to be great in the new heaven and the new earth. Look forward to it. In the meantime, get on with this one. See you soon.